Hello everyone, I'm Selena. Welcome to Dreams Rider Carousel. Today I want to ask you a question. If there were a time tunnel, would you go back to the past to change a decision, or would you travel to the future to see your future self? This isn't just a hypothetical question. It's something we have all thought about at some point, especially during tough times in life. So today, let's explore this topic together. This topic got me thinking because of 1 month ago, one of my unforgettable people was driving me through a road that felt just like a time tunnel. The mango trees on both sides were over 100 years old. Their branches intertwining overhead create this breathtaking tunnel-like view. I absolutely loved it. At that moment, I asked him, if this were really a time tunnel, would you go back to the past or travel to the future? He said, I'd go back to the past. Then he turned the question back to me. I said, I'd choose now, because even if I went back, I'd probably still make the same choices. That's just a fate. After I got home, this question kept lingering in my mind. Do I really want to stay in the present? Do I really have no desire to go back and then make a different choice? If a time tunnel actually existed, where would I go? I think when we look back on our lives, we all have moments of regret. Some people regret the major they chose in college. Others regret career decisions. Maybe they shouldn't have joined a certain company. Maybe they should have fought for a position, or maybe they should have switched jobs sooner. Some regret their relationships. Yes, some regret their relationships or marriages, while others wish they had spent more time with their children. Every major decision we make shapes our current life and relationships, and especially when we are going through a tough time, when we hit a low point in life, we start wondering, what if I could go back? Honestly, I've made so many wrong choices in my life that if I could go back, I wouldn't even know which moment to return to. So I did a little self-analysis. What would actually happen if I went back in time? Let's say there were 2 conditions for a time tunnel. The first one, you back with all your current memories, meaning you already know how things will turn out, so you can make different choices and live a complete different life. But here's the thing, can you really guarantee that making a different choice would lead to success? Let's take relationships as an example. If you choose a different person, can you be sure you'll be happy? There is a famous quote from the writer Zhang Ailing. Maybe every man has 2 kinds of women in his life, the red rose and the white rose. If he marries the red rose, over time, she fades into just a stain of mosquito blood on the wall, while the white rose remains as bright as the moonlight by his bedside. But if he marries the white rose, she becomes nothing more than a speck of rice duck to his clothes, while the red rose turns into a deep, unforgettable mark on his heart. This is a classic quote from Zhang Yiling's novel, Red Rose and White Rose. No matter how perfect a partner seems before marriage, once you spend every day together, you start noticing all their flaws, and eventually, that initial admiration can turn into frustration. But this idea doesn't just apply to men, it applies to women too. So even if you could go back in time with all your current memories and choose a different relationship, over time, you might still ended up feeling dissatisfied or unhappy. So the real question isn't who you choose, but how you handle a relationship, how you nurture and maintain it. Okay, let's talk work as an example. Say you feel like you ended up in an industry that's holding you back. If you could go back in time, maybe you'd choose a different company or even start your own business. But can you guarantee that switching companies would mean smooth sailing? That you wouldn't run into workplace conflicts? And if you started your own business, would everything really go perfectly? Wouldn't you face even tougher competition? In the end, you might actually be worse off than you are now. So, even if you could go back with all your current memories and make different choices, there is no guarantee your life would turn out any better. Okay, let's start the second condition. The second condition is going back to the past without your current memories. Basically, reliving your life from scratch, and let me tell you, you'd still make the same choices and end up with the same results. Why do I think that? Well, recently, Taiwanese writer Chong Yao passed away. Her novels were a huge part of my youth. I've read every single one, and they deeply shaped my views of love. After she passed, I decided to reread her very first novel, Outside the Window. The story is about a high school girl who falls in love with her teacher, who is 25 years older than her. But their love is ultimately crushed by social and family pressure. I first read this book when I was 15. Back then, I was convinced that if it were me, I would have thrown everything away for love without hesitation. Now, decades later, after all the ups and downs in my own relationships, I picked up the book again, and to my surprise, my choice hadn't changed at all. I still felt exactly the same way I did when I was 15. So I know that even if there were a time tunnel and I went back to the past, my choices wouldn't change. Life's choices may come in different forms, but the final outcome is already written by fate. There's no need to look back and no reason to blame your past self. If you made the wrong choice, then so be it. Stop replaying the what-ifs over and over again. Life was never meant to be a series of perfect decisions. Even if you could do it all over again with the same level of experience and mindset you had back then, you'd still make the same choices and the outcome wouldn't change. As for traveling to the future to see what my future self looks like, I think it's better to keep a little mystery. So my answer to this question remains the same. I don't want to go back to the past. I don't want to jump into the future. I just want to stay in the present and cherish every single day. But how do we truly cherish the present? Here's something I've been thinking about and I'd like to sharing it with you. We can use our thoughts as a kind of time tunnel to revisit the past, reflecting on what happened, breaking it down and analyzing it. Sometimes this process might touch something deep within us, and it might even hurt, but it's something we need to do. Let's take relationships as an example. Thinking back on your past relationships, how did you handle them? Some people hold on too tightly in every relationship, constantly seeking reassurance. Do you love me? They want to be together 24 hours, no self-space, suffocating their partner until the relationship or marriage eventually falls apart. If that sounds familiar, it's worth asking why. Could it be rooted in childhood experience, maybe a lack of love growing up, leading to insecurity in relationship? If that's the case, the real issue isn't about changing partners. It's about healing the wounds from the past. Before stepping into a new relationship, focus on strengthening yourself, becoming more independent, and truly learning to love yourself. Only when you are emotionally secure and fulfilled on your own can you build a healthy and lasting relationship. So the true meaning of a time tunnel isn't about taking us to the past or the future. It's about teaching us to cherish the present. Every decision we make is part of our destiny, and every choice shapes who we are today. The present is the only time tunnel we can truly control. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell for notifications. And if you have any topics you'd like to discuss, feel free to leave a comment or send me an email. Thank you. Bye bye.